And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart as a consumer here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Save our hotline number, 813-750-0550. You can call or text that line. It's an off-air number, 813-750-0550. And we would love to help you if you're buying, selling, or investing. We like to feature our real estate listings live on air on the program. And we've got a hot new listing over in Bel Air, in Pinellas County, 117 14th Street in Bel Air. This is a beautiful property, double lot, pool home. And it has a jetted tub, gourmet kitchen, temperature-controlled wine cooler, covered lanai, and too many details to go into here on the program, but it's just minutes from the beach, of course, walking distance on a private cul-de-sac road, 117 14th Street in Bel Air. Beautiful property, listed just over $1 million, and you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. It's the beautiful Bilmar Beach Resort. They've got 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's Beach Bar and Restaurant, serving breakfast 7 days a week as well at Sloppy Joe's. And say hello to Clyde Smith. He's the general manager. Make sure you let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got a great lineup for you today on the program. Starting us off, we've got Tarpon Springs Mayor Chris Alahouzos. Hey, Chris.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thank you. And yourself?
Doing great. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. And again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to communicate with your listeners and the residents of Tarpon Springs.
Absolutely, yeah. So the Tarpon Springs area, the Palm Harbor, northern Pinellas County, so many people are just in love with that area. What's your favorite thing about that area?
The whole Tarpon Springs.
Right? The Sponge Docks, the restaurants. I mean, there's so many cool things.
In Tarpon Springs, as you know, it's a unique town. It has so much character and heritage that we have so many visitors coming to experience our heritage, the sponge industry, and as you know, tourism is our main industry.
Yes, that's right. And I love going out on the water over there. I'm a Freedom Boat Club member, so I take it out of the I think it's Captain Jack's right there. Is that right? The marina?
No, they actually moved right across the river. The Old Papa's Restaurant. As a matter of fact, we had a grand opening last week, and they're doing very well.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So it's been a while since I've been out of that location, and I actually live on Lake Tarpon. So I love boating in that area. It's just there's so much to do, fishing and just going out and enjoying for the day. Let's talk about some of the issues. You had mentioned that there is you received some government grant or funding for to help combat sea level rise.
Yes, we're very grateful. The government just recently signed the funding for the Anclote River Extended Turning Basin dredging. This is the boats will be able to do a turnaround and right next to Captain Jack's, which is very, very shallow. So they provide us $724,000. Also, they signed funding for the Sponge Docks Flooding to build a vault, a pumping station, if you will, underground on the Decanis Boulevard. So we receiving $1,738,000 for this project. Now, both projects are very, very important to our economy. In addition to that, Mr. Rice, we also have a big project going on with the Army Corps of Engineers to dredge the channel, the Anclote River, all the way down to the mouth of the river. So for that, we received $3,788,000, and we want to thank Congressman got the records for that. And the ones that we received from the state, please allow me to thank our Speaker of the House, Chris Prose, Representative Chris Latvala, our Senator Ed Hooper, and all these four people did an excellent job supporting the Tarpon Springs. As you know, Tarpon Springs is an area with surrounded by water. We have the most waterfront in the Pinellas County. And, of course, we have the phenomenon that everybody's facing, the sea level rise. So flooding is an issue that we are very concerned.
Yeah, exactly. It's a challenge. We see it happening in Dade County, Miami, different issues you've seen down there. They're experimenting with some of these lock systems. Do you have any insights on how that vault system's going to work?
Well, there was we just completed a project not long ago. We installed check valves on the pipes that it goes into the river. So when the tide is high, the check valves they block the water from coming into the streets. But when it rains at the same time, the water has no place to go. That's why we need to build this vault, which is going to be built on the Decanese and Athens Street, right on the intersection there, because that's the lowest part, so all the water can drain there and then pumping it back into the river. Now, that's going to be a long process. We got the funding now, but still have to go through the designing and also the involvement of the people, the business owners, the property owners, and the residents of Tarpon Springs. All of us together must be involved with this great project.
Yeah, and if you just joined us, we're talking with Tarpon Springs Mayor Chris Alahouzos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, talking about things that affect Tampa Bay, folks living in the area. Of course, northern Pinellas County is the focus here as well, Tarpon Springs. What are some of the other issues? I think a lot of people are thinking about sustainability with all this growth. We've got so many people moving into Florida, moving into Tampa Bay. What's at the forethought of your mind when it comes to sustainability in terms of the water supply, the sewers, the roads? I mean, the infrastructures. There's a lot to consider.
Well, we do have a sustainability advisory committee, and they're providing good data for us. But also, we are very grateful to the residents of Tarpon Springs and to our staff because we have our own water supply. As you know, we have our own reverse osmosis, which supplies very, very, excellent, great water. And our infrastructure is in a good shape. Of course, you can never relax on that. You always have to improve that and extend it.
Yes, exactly. So sustainability being a key focus. Roadways, how are we doing on roads and infrastructure in terms of power and some of those considerations?
Well, the roadways, you constantly have to do repairs, but we have a very, very large project going on. It's almost completed now to build sidewalks everywhere in Tarpon Springs.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's awesome. So you can build some nice sidewalks. In general speaking, too, you look at the growth in Florida. One of the fears that a lot of people have, especially, of course, if you love this nation, if you love the values of this nation, and folks moving from New York, New Jersey, California, some of those other blue states moving into Florida. We saw Governor DeSantis had mentioned that the overwhelming majority so far that he saw were registering as Republicans. What's your thoughts on that as far as folks moving in and affecting future legislation and changing our great state into while they're leaving the other states like New York and New Jersey?
Well, this is I don't think anybody has any control with that, but you mentioned about growth. In Tarpon Springs, we're developing 3 subdivisions at this time, and you being involved with the real estate, you know how demanding the area it is. We have Tarpon Springs is a very desirable place for people to live, to raise your family, and it's a very quiet and peaceful city. So we have many people that are constantly looking for places to buy here in Tarpon Springs. So 3 subdivisions are in process to be developed as we speak.
Nice. And is the overall the county and the city, is the overall consensus of yes, let's allow developers to build, or has there been some opposing viewpoints saying, well, what about the green spaces? What about the parks and recreation? It's such a fine balance.
Well, it is a fine balance, but it's also a criterion in the zoning that you have to follow. There's not. It's a process, and every application is different, and you have to treat it based on its method.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Tarpon Springs Mayor Chris Alahouzos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Chris, another thing I've seen, especially out of Washington, D.C., is lately is this infrastructure package. I've been listening to some other podcasts. Charlie Kirk is pointing out the infrastructure is there's some proposals in there to change laws to take some of the local zoning decisions away from the citizens and the local government. So, in other words, local municipalities, and specifically for single-family homes, single-family housing, freestanding homes that aren't attached, in favor of the Biden administration's wanting to put in attached. It seems like they want everybody to live together in a vertical building, or even at minimum an attached building. Have you seen or heard anything about that coming down the pike?
No, we haven't received any notifications that. I heard people talking about it, but we are very strong believers of home rule, and we believe that the cities and the county should make our own rules and our own regulations.
That's right.
As the state, because the federal government does not know the needs and the effects that we have on the local level. So it is, home rule. That means the people of Tarpon Springs are going to decide what rules we should have, what criteria we should have when it comes to building and the zoning. Anytime you're changing anything like this, it has to be a public hearing process. So we don't want to be mandated from the government, from the federal government, as to what we should be doing here locally. And I don't mean just Springs, I'm talking about every city. It's very important that we keep our home rule.
That's right. Local control is best. Stay out of it. Don't be, telling us what we have to build, trying to eliminate single-family housing. They're trying to eliminate the suburbs, and it's just more of their, agenda that they have that just makes no sense at all. We got to take a quick break here. When we come back, Chris, if you can hang out with us, Mayor Chris Alahouzos, we'll spend some more time on the other side of this break. If you could spend some more time with us, sir, that would be wonderful. And also, we have our feel-good story of the day coming up later in the program. A chat led to 2 co-workers saving each other's husbands. Find out about that one in our feel-good story of the day. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. And we like to help our sellers profit more by featuring their properties on the program. And we've got some hot listings here in Tampa Bay. We've got 1200 Gulf Boulevard. This is on Clearwater Beach, Sand Key, the Meridian Condo, number 1805. This is a beautiful property, great opportunity to live right on the beach. Nearly 4,000 square feet, 3-bedroom suites. You have an office, 2 Gulfside balconies, 1,100 square foot terrace with gazebo, and of course resort style amenities. And the best part is you walk out, you've got the beautiful pool area, barbecue grill area, and then you walk down your private entrance to the beach, and you've got the sugar sand beaches and dolphin filled waters right there in Pinellas County, Florida. Clearwater Beach, one of the top beaches in the world. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, more time here with Tarpon Springs Mayor Chris Alahouzos on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And Chris, I want to just kind of give you some open time. Is there anything that we haven't covered yet that you wanted to bring up?
No, I just wanted to say that we just had as you know, the storm, the tropical storm, and our employees did an excellent job preparing the city for the storm. So I'm very appreciative for their hard work and dedication.
Yes, that's great, and we are early in the season. Going forward, what are there any other tips that you like to give out, or things that we see happening in other areas that maybe we could mimic here in Tampa Bay?
No, I think we're doing well. We are now working on upcoming budget, so we have many opportunities to do more improvements in Tarpon Springs. And I wanted to say that the city of Tarpon Springs, financially, economically, we're doing very well. We also have over $8 million surplus for rainy days, just like the hurricanes that we just had. Just recently, of course, we had the epidemic, and we're getting out of that. So we were doing well here in Tarpon Springs.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the police departments and the fire and those other supporting staff. Give some shout outs to some of the folks that are doing, a good job for you over there.
Well, our police department and our fire department are, they're doing an excellent job for the city. We all supporting their work. We are very appreciative for everything that they're providing to the people of Tarpon Springs. Both departments, they're doing very, very well. We are extremely happy with their performance.
And you'd mentioned that you have Tarpon Springs has an $8 million surplus.
Yes.
How does the city get to a point? Because I know that's not the case for a lot of other cities.
Well, I can't speak for the other cities, but I can say that we have good management here in Tarpon Springs.
Yes, it sounds like it. That's great. And $8 million surplus, that's certainly great to have, especially with all the uncertainty that we had last year with the pandemic. I want to flash back. Let's go back to January of last year, about 18 months ago. January, we had this word come out that there might be some type of a virus coming from China. Then eventually, the travel bans go into effect. What's going through your mind and your council and your commissioners? What was the decision process when you're thinking about locking people down and putting masks? How did you react? What was the different opinions there?
I am very proud for the Board of Commissioners here in Tarpon Springs. We all did an excellent job together as a team. As soon as we find out about this pandemic that was coming and everything was getting to a lockdown, we had a meeting and we decided immediately to give $1,000 to every business in Tarpon Springs. That will keep them going till they get the help from the federal government.
Oh, wow. Okay, so $1,000 to every business. So that would have to be a business that was, had a business license or they were somehow registered?
Yes, yeah. So this is what's so nice to have a surplus so you can have these luxury to do things like that for the people of Tarpon Springs.
Right. Yeah, I love it. My daughter and I love to go take a little ride down the main strip there. I forgot the name of the street, but it's got all the different great restaurants, the Hellas and the restaurants. But it seems like that place.
Yes, that's the Decanis Boulevard. But we also have another good area in Tarpon Springs out downtown and Pinellas Avenue. That we have many good restaurants in Tarpon Springs.
Oh yeah, downtown Pinellas. We love that Hours restaurant.
Yes.
My wife loves that. We both love it. Great restaurants, great foods, local businesses, local economy. How important is it for people to realize every time they swipe online and they buy through one of the major apps, I don't want to say the name, but you know who they are, these big apps, these big, huge companies. How important is it to shop small, shop local, especially when you're buying products and even services?
Well, we have to remember that the local businesses, the small businesses, the backbone of our economy. So we must support them if we want to stay economically healthy.
That's right. Yep, especially on a local level. You know, the more we can support locally and not spending money with those big, huge online behemoths who, you know, they a lot of times they're part of this woke culture and all these different, you know, negative things towards law enforcement. Shop local, support the local economy right here in Tampa Bay. And there's a lot of great places you can do a local staycation right here in Tampa Bay as well.
Yes, and actually in Tarpon Springs we have so many places to go, you know, to spend a day and enjoy the river, enjoy the Gulf of Mexico. And then, you know, we have so many parks. The recreation is excellent here in Tarpon Springs. We have so many kids playing football, soccer, baseball, because the recreation department is doing an excellent job here in Tarpon Springs.
Yeah, it's such a great city, such a great area to visit and enjoy, and the real estate values have just consistently gone up as well.
And I also would like to say that we are very, very supporting our seniors. We have senior services here in Tarpon Springs. We got the Senior Information Center that we created a few years ago. We got transportation for seniors, and we want to help. I would like to thank the PHTA and the Advent Health Hospital of Tarpon Springs for supporting that. We're in process of building a senior center right now for our seniors to go there, to gather, to socialize, and also get different training and information about benefits and information there available to them.
Well, that's great, supporting the seniors. I feel like the seniors have gotten a short end of the stick on, especially with the way the banks and the politicians in D.C. are pushing the money supply. You know, they're watering down our water supply at record numbers. They're pumping out trillions and trillions of fake dollars into the economy. And who does that hurt most? I think it hurts seniors very difficultly, very bad because of their retirement, and all their pensions. Yes, and we're trying to provide as many services as possible to our seniors. To me, they're the ones that built America, so it's time for us to give something back to them. Right on. That's exactly right. Well, hey, thanks so much for joining us, Chris. We greatly appreciate it. Tarpon Springs Mayor Chris Alahouzos, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you, and thank you for everything you do, Mr. Rines. Hey, my pleasure. Absolutely. And say hello to the team over there, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you. Goodbye. Take care. Goodbye. All right, coming up, we've got Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, going to join us on the program. He's one of our contractor expert contributors, all types of great home services with the program here as well. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. Plus, later in the show as well, we got Med 6 Supply, Sam Weil coming on the program from Med 6 Supply. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show for our feel-good story of the day. 2 co-workers saving each other's husbands. Really cool twist on a story. We'll be right back.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Fred, we're just transitioning over to the new group here.
That's fine. I'm sitting here getting a lot of paperwork done. I love it.
Cool.
How you guys doing?
We're doing okay.
Great. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm dying to get back in that studio.
There's plenty of room.
I know. It'll happen.
Yes. Supply.com. Fred Muth, how you doing, sir?
Brandon, I'm fantastic. I'm probably better than the last time we talked. I don't know how that's happening. I'm getting older, but I'm getting better.
Nice. I like that.
What's wrong with you?
You got all rescreening work coming?
You got rescreen work coming, James asked?
Well, rescreening is probably something that we put on the furthest back burner that we have because we have so many new builds coming up. We have two crews that do rescreening, and they're way behind. We rescreen typically our customers, but if it's a call in from somebody that's not our customer, we have to put them on a hold list, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean the weather. This thing wasn't too bad. We dodged a bullet on this one. I've taken a couple of calls from the western side of basically a lot of Pinellas and a lot of western Tampa, but nothing significant. I didn't really experience any big major problems. The big problems that we typically see in high winds is when the tree goes over, which is a very common problem. The tree falls over and it hits the cage. But I haven't taken any calls for that yet, and I hope I don't.
All right, guys. Well, I think we'll get started here. If everybody's ready.
All right. Please stand by.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals when you're buying, selling, or investing. We got some hot properties here, some vacant land available. I've got about a dozen or so vacant lots and land packages available. We've got a property here at 202 South West Shore Boulevard. This is in South Tampa Beach Park. If you ever wanted to build a home in South Tampa and Beach Park, this is a beautiful property for you. 202 Southwest Shore Boulevard. This property is almost 81 and change square footage. Beach Park, Tampa neighborhood. You're in the Plant High School district, close to downtown Hyde Park, museums and top medical facilities around that property as well. 202 Southwest Shore Boulevard. 6513 South County Line Road. This is 4.8 acres out in East Hillsborough County. 6513 South County Line Road. Great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. This one is zoned to build a home plus a separate outbuilding out in Plant City. $260,000, I believe, is the list price on that one. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And let's give a shout out to our friends Replenish IV Solutions. Say hello to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan and the awesome nurse staff over there at Replenish IV Solutions. If you want to feel energized and rehydrated and replenished, reach out to Replenish IV Solutions. It's a safe and effective way to restore your body's systems with crucial vitamins and nutrients, enabling them to perform at optimal conditions. Multiple Bay Area locations, or they can also come to you. And Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we're going to the phones here. Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, a.k.a. the Tin Man. Welcome back, sir.
Well, thank you so much. The winds blew and it all flew, but we didn't get hit hard, and I'm glad we didn't. Some people say to me, "Oh, but you love hurricanes. You write up a lot of business." The answer is no. We have enough business. We have plenty of good business. We don't need the hurricane damage business. It's not something pleasant in our lives, believe me. And you talk to any screen guy out there, he probably would say the same thing.
Yeah,
you got to
exactly.
figure on a new build, you got nice, clean everything to attach to. On a rebuild, when there's hurricane damage, it's a nightmare because there's more than just the cage damage. And when you go back against the house, you have wood damage, structure damage on the house. You have shingles.
Yeah.
You have to call Chuck Peterson and get him in there before us. You know how it is. It's a tough business when things get blown apart by the wind. Not at all pleasant.
Yeah, and Fred, we had a construction attorney on the show last week. I don't know if you got a chance to catch that interview. Trent Contney did a good job, but he talked about some of the challenges with construction law, and I thought it was interesting. Looking at all the different areas of law that we have, but construction was actually an interesting interview.
Well, I didn't hear it. I'm going to have to go back and get it. What is his name?
Trent Contney. Associate Attorneys, I believe it was. But it was an interesting because I was thinking about all of our contractors and the stories that you've said and Chuck Peterson said on the program and Brandon Faust and the contractor base that we have, and a lot of it came down to decisions. He talked about supply chain, talked about the labor pool, but also he kind of identified issues where people, and a lot of times it just comes down to communication when you're working with a contractor.
That's what it is right up front, and that's why my closing statement on the show is always I recommend ask a lot of questions. If I missed something, I would appreciate if the homeowner would ask me the question so that we would cover that issue. There is nothing worse in the contracting business than having a major surprise on the back end. And that happens. I see it happen all the time, and it happens when there's a lack of communication. Communication in the construction business, or the lack of, we'll say, is there's a cost factor involved with the lack of communication.
Right.
The mistakes are made when people don't communicate correctly, and they're not 5% mistakes, 5% dollar-wise mistakes. They're 20, 25, 30, 40, 50% dollar-wise mistakes. So that's why covering it is so beneficial. I make mistakes too. I'm as human as the next guy. I went out, I signed one yesterday, and I brought the paperwork back, and I'm looking through it today, and I overcharged the guy. And I said, how'd I do this? And I just inverted a couple of numbers, and he didn't catch it. I didn't catch it when I signed it, but obviously I'm going to rewrite the contract and give him his money back. But these things happen. It was raining, and we were outside, and we signed the paperwork out on his lanai, and the wind was blowing. So I made a mistake, and it's going to happen. As long as you catch it and remedy the situation, life goes on in the right fashion. But I'm going to definitely check that broadcast with the attorney. I would love to hear what he had to say. And I listen to Chuck all the time. Chuck was on a couple of weeks ago or a week or two ago.
Yep.
And all I say to people is my hat goes off to him, and I echo everything that he says about the business. It's the same thing. You have to communicate. You have to talk about warranties. You have to talk about deposits. You have to talk about the labor. You make sure you know this going into the contract. People will call me today and they'll say, we took a bid from you 2 years ago, and we just rebid it, and you're up 40%. And I said, man, I'm glad it's only 40% because everything's changed that much in a couple of years.
Right.
Materials, labor, it's all up there. Then, of course, permitting is up there. We don't upcharge for permitting. We try to cover everything that we can going into it. You know, a lot of the commercial permits are more expensive in the city of Tampa than they are of the standard residential permits, because there's so much more time involved with a commercial permit. And in some cases, it's 60-70% difference between commercial and residential. I've signed jobs. Well, there's basically it goes through a lot more channels in the city, and instead of making 3 to 4 phone calls to get the permit issued, we make 30 to 40 phone calls to get the permit issued. It's unfortunate. Like, for example, a lot of the condo complexes, if there's more than 3 units per building, it is now considered a commercial permit, even though it's a residential property. So, that when it goes to commercial permit, it just turns into just a lot more time and involved to get it released. And I have one specific community that I work. At one time, it was an apartment complex. It turned into condo, and it's actually a PUD as well, planned unit development. So it carries different setback requirements. And there's 4 owners per building, which puts it in the commercial zone. So I have to sell to a resident. I have to charge them a commercial permit charge for a screen room, and it's a lot of money. And these are not big screen rooms. You know, the average ticket on these rooms might be $5,000 or $6,000 or maybe $7,000, and then of course plus the commercial permit charge. So yeah, it's kind of sad because you say it doesn't have to be like this, but that's the way it is. You have to dance to the beat of the drum.
What's the difference between a commercial and a residential permit? What's the cost difference?
Almost double.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot more money. But once again, it goes through a different set. They jump a different set of hoops to get it to go. And I signed one last October, and we just got the permit in this particular community. I signed beginning of October 2020. We got the permit 3 weeks ago, and the homeowner completely understood. The homeowner is a real estate agent.
Okay.
So that homeowner had no problem understanding why it took forever to get this permit. However, there are some other homeowners that do not, they don't understand the business, and they'll call every 4 days, call us and want to know where the permit is, and they're not clear as to why it's taking so long. So, we would like to give them the best information possible. In some cases, we'll send them a link or something to the city of Tampa regarding their permit status so they can look it up and see what we're dealing with a commercial permit. I don't get as involved with the permits as I did years ago. Our girl in the office, Diana, she handles all that, but she'll carbon copy me on every issue when there's a problematic situation. And I've gotten emails that are, 40 paragraphs long regarding the commercial permits and what's going on with them.
Wow.
And it's just a lot, and once again, it does not have to be like that. But that's the construction business.
Yeah.
You probably see it with what you do.
Yeah. There's different strategies around those things, but when you look at that type of deal right there, there's not a whole lot you can do.
No.
With it when it comes to a government body. We're talking with Fred Muth, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Fred, give us your final thought. We're coming into the tail end of this segment here.
Well, final thought, number one, hurricane season. My advice to homeowners is don't get too excited about the cage. Don't go out there and cut the screens. I don't know why people say cut the screens, reduce the wind flow. Just make sure that all your fasteners are good. The cage is tight. And we'll get through this hurricane season. We'll all get through it very easily, hopefully. My other thought is always ask a lot of questions regarding contracting, whether it's a roof, a screen room, no matter what it is. Make sure that the homeowner has a series of questions to ask the consultant. Make sure the consultant can answer them questions correctly. Otherwise, find somebody else.
That's right. Yep. Make sure you ask those right questions, and as a consultant, you look forward to those questions because it lets you know that the buyer's engaged.
For sure, and I'm a homeowner myself, and I welcome the questions. When I go through a project at the house, I'll ask a lot of questions. Even though I may know the answer, I want to hear it from somebody else to make sure that I'm not assuming an answer. That is a very bad thing to do in the construction business, assume anything.
That's right. Well, Fred, thanks for joining us, my friend. Great nuggets of advice there. Appreciate the insights, taking us into the road of permitting, into the processes. Appreciate that.
Okay, take care. Talk to you soon.
All righty, take care. All right, Fred Bute, Tampa Screens and Aluminum, longtime friend of the program. Call on him for all of your outdoor, your lanais, your patios, your screen rooms. We call it the in-between space on your real estate properties. They do such a great job, highly rated here in Tampa Bay. Tampa Screens and Aluminum. And coming up, we got Sam Weil, Med6 Supply, med6supply.com coming up on the program. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, a chat led to two co-workers saving each other's husbands. Pretty cool story that happened at a hospital out of Atlanta. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the Real Estate Quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253. Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Every day we like to tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
All right, so this was an interesting story. The headline reads, a chat led to 2 co-workers saving each other's husbands. So Tia Wimbush and Susan Ellis both work at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and both of their husbands were in dire need of a new kidney. So for Tia and Susan, it was generally smiles and hellos as they pass each other, but 5-minute bathroom conversation changed everything. It says, she was quoted, we crossed paths in the restroom and were washing our hands, and we started having a conversation about where my husband and I were in the transplant evaluation process. Tia recalled they soon discovered that Susan was compatible with Tia's husband, Rodney, and Tia was compatible with Susan's husband, Lance. And it was like a light bulb went off in their heads, she says, and what if we can donate our kidneys to each other's husbands? 7 months later, Tia, Rodney, and Lance underwent a paired kidney exchange, and it's very rare for 2 immunological incompatible pairs to propose their own paired exchange and actually be a match for one another, said Christina Klein, a transplant doctor in Atlanta Hospital. Since the couples have grown closer, and it's beyond friendship, she says. So pretty cool story. They found a match at work in the hospital. Pretty cool. All right, we are welcoming in Sam Weil, Med6 Supply. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, thanks. Great to be back again.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming back. You brought some goodies today, too. Let's hold these up for the camera.
Appreciate that.
So what do we got here? Pain Control?
Pain Patrol, which is a topical pain relief product. It's available in a variety of sizes, painpatrolproducts.com. Available to the consumer market and available through distribution at med6supply.com.
Nice. Yeah, see, this is something I would put on my neck.
All day.
Playing football for so many years, I get like those neck pains and stuff. So sometimes I put just different I forgot whatever the oil was, essential oil. But this is something I would just kind of roll on the neck there, right?
That's a roll-on, yes.
Cool.
Anywhere you got some pain, just not on an open wound, but anywhere you got some pain, muscle cramps.
Awesome.
A lot of times I tell people just use it like you would ice. You can ice something down.
Yeah.
Use that instead. It's better, more effective, works quicker, and lasts longer.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what else is going on over at Med 6 Supply?
Well, I'll tell you, we're excited at Med 6 Supply. We launched our company in July. We've got our first customer, 44 location medical group of physicians, 4 clinics, a couple of pharmacies, all located out of the Bradenton, Sarasota, Palmetto area, and couldn't be more excited. Fantastic stuff. We're looking forward to it.
And you partnered up with our friend Brian Gordon
Absolutely.
on this business.
Absolutely. Brian Gordon and I got together. We started this. And, last time I was on, I talked pretty much about what it is. And I'll give you a quick overview of what it is. But this time I'd really like to tell you the why. Why are we doing it?
I love it.
Because I think ultimately that is more important than what we're doing. But so we're real excited. Med 6 Supply is a full-service medical surgical supply company. We service the professional healthcare community. So that is your physicians, your hospitals, your nursing homes, your clinics, and then professional providers like physical therapists, chiropractors, home healthcare companies and agencies. So a full range of medical surgical supply companies for a full range of medical surgical providers.
Very cool. So you mentioned home health care.
Yep.
Hospice, those types of
organizations as well. And then, the physician offices, whether they be independent or a group of physicians that band together, independent physical therapists. All of those folks use some sorts of medical surgical supplies, and so we want to provide that to them as well. Located here in Tampa, we got a local warehouse, over 5,000 items in stock.
Nice.
Ready to go. If there's a particular need for something, we'll get that in and make sure we stock it for you there. We've got a pretty basic philosophy about people, process, and products. We believe, in people. I think we talked last time about how technology has removed the human element from transacting business. And, that's not something Brian and I kind of agree with. So we're about the people, our people. It's about our customers and their people, and our vendors, our suppliers and their people as well.
Yeah.
So if something's good for everybody, it's good for everybody. So we really try to aspire to that. And then, process is where technology, in our opinion, has its place. So we got cutting edge technology to deliver the right product in the right unit of measure, in the right place at the right time. And our online portal is I think second to none. Especially from a local homegrown perspective, it rivals all the big national companies. It's easy to use. It's very intuitive. It provides you with more data than you know what to do with to start with, and that's a good way because all these individual practices they're under such pressure on bureaucratic stuff, regulatory stuff, that it takes time away from what they do is to provide care for everybody, right? So running their business a lot of times becomes the last thing to do because they're out of time.
Right.
So if we can give you a tool that helps you do that, makes it more efficient, more effective, and you can get that data at a moment's notice. 3 clicks or less is what we like to say. So in 3 clicks or less, you're going to have what you need.
Wow.
And so that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish with the technology piece, with the process piece. And then lastly, about products, right? So new innovations happen in medical supplies every day, in medical equipment and diagnostics every day. But what I think one of the things we learned from the pandemic is being reliant upon other countries for our supplies.
Right.
Kind of caught us with our pants down, if you will. And so trying to find suppliers who are local, who are regional, where we can get the products quicker, where we can have better turnaround time, lower transportation costs. We don't have to travel all across the world to get it to us, and then pass those savings along to the customer.
Yeah, that's great.
People, process, and products. That's kind of what drives the decision making at the company.
If you just joined us, we're talking with Sam Weil here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, med6supply.com. It's the number 6, MED6supply.com. And talk to us about what that last point you made with having products locally, because I think more and more people are just saying, hey, I want to try to source everything I can locally, everything from food. So now with the medical supplies, talk to me about that.
So, yeah, we have, as a society, become very dependent upon China and India for a lot of, they're really not critical medical supplies until they become critical.
Right.
So a pandemic hit, did you think about face masks and hand sanitizer and things like that before? Not so much.
Right.
You did if you were a healthcare professional, because you're in that. But as consumers, did we think about that stuff? Not so much.
Right.
But we do now. And all of a sudden, they became very critical very quickly. And so trying to find manufacturers who have brought back some manufacturing of those types of non-critical day-to-day but become critical in an emergency, to do that, that's something that we're really striving to do. And it's tough. It really is tough because not a lot of that stuff is made here. So
right.
we are looking, and we're trying to find companies that are doing that here, and we want to partner with those companies to provide those products to our customer base.
Yeah, it's important, and we always talk about that on the program here. Supporting local companies, the local economy here is so important. The more that we can shop local, of course, we're all going to benefit from that. It's going to roll downhill, so to speak, into our nonprofit organizations, each other's businesses. Trying to support locally is such a big, important process with this show as well.
That's correct. We're even, if you place an order by 2:00, we're delivering it to that office the next day. We're even using a local company for the distribution of the products and delivery of the products.
Nice.
Really happy about that too. So as much as we can support local, we're trying to support local for all the right reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, check them out online, med6supply.com. Sam Weil, also Brian Gordon, who you've heard on the program as well before. Brian also has his Tactical Supply company as well. Tactical Society, that's right. Company as well. So, all right, good stuff, man. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate us having us on again.
Hey, my pleasure. Absolutely. All right. Hey, another great show. Thanks to all of our expert contributors, our team behind the scenes putting the program together. And of course, you, our radio and TV show audience out there, we greatly appreciate it. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you check us out on social at BrandonRhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page as well, consumerqb.com.